Thank you, Lord. You know my name. Nothing can stop me.
Amen. We forget far too often that we're not in this world by ourselves. That God has placed us here one by one. From our mother's womb came to give us life. And God knows us each by name. And you don't believe it? You'll find out once you close your eyes for the last time and come face to face with Christ. That He will call your name. Whether or not you recognize Him as Lord and Savior. Be careful, be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Making the most of your situations in life. Making the most out of your situations in life. It's amazing, Lighthouse. The vast number of people who waste their lives complaining about their current situation in life. Instead of living their lives for Christ and seizing every opportunity given to them to glorify God by wisely using their time. They spend their days trying to believe, blaming everyone else for their problems in life, instead of making the best out of the hand that life has dealt them. For you see, there is always a silver lining in every situation if we just took the time to look. Not long ago, many of our physically and mentally disabled brothers and sisters were predestined to live their lives out in institutions. But now they are thriving, doing great things in life. They have risen, Lighthouse, above their disabilities and have proven time and time again that they can be productive citizens in life and be recognized for their skills and talents they bring to the table. In Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 to 17, and verse 16 in particular, Paul exhorts the Ephesians to live as children of the light, to avoid the works of darkness, and to be filled with the Spirit. It is to live Christ-like lives, and not to fall prey to the temptations of this dark and evil world, temptations of lust, sinfulness, disobedience, immorality. The phrase is often used redeeming the time. We only find that in the King James Version. And it's used to convey the same message. It is to make the most of every opportunity in life. Every opportunity that comes our way. The context of this verse is simply this. We should use our time wisely and not waste it on things that are unimportant or harmful. We should be mindful of the opportunities that come our way and take advantage of them, especially in a world where evil is present. Likewise, we must do a thorough examination of what is truly controlling our time. And we must decide what is important. Is it our relationship with God? Is it our family? Is it our job? Socializing? Recreation? Or entertainment? In what order of priority would we put these in other interests? We must begin to prioritize things, Lighthouse, from the most important to the least important. It is essential, Lighthouse, because the small activities in life are the very ones that drain away most of our time, seemingly unnoticed. We're busy being busy, and next thing we know, time has gotten away from us. We find Paul also is telling us to imitate Christ always as we journey through life. Being wise and careful in all that we do. He uses the phrase, because the days are evil, to remind us of the dangers of falling prey to temptation of sin and immorality in this dark and evil world we live. You know, we need a reminder every now and again to watch out, to be careful. So Paul reminded his readers to be careful because the world's slick. You may think that you are on top of things, that you got the right mindset, that temptation cannot permeate within your mind, but before you know it, the world's got you. And you wonder how you got in that situation to begin with, because, as far as you knew, you were holier than thou. You were doing all the right things. So we must be wise and careful in all that we do. We also must remember that as Jesus taught his disciples, he's teaching us as well these same words. Behold, I am sending you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. So be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Barefoot, I'm sending you out into a world full of temptation, and you watch your step. Be careful who you listen to. There are many wolves in sheep clothing out there. Be wise and careful to who you listen to and who you follow. There are folk out there trying to prey on those they know are vulnerable. The Colts, they know just who to look for. They know when people are vulnerable, and they pounce right on there. And before they know it, they're caught up in a situation, not of their own making, a situation that they cannot get out of. The world is slick, Lighthouse, and we have to be on our toes at all times. So we must take advantage of the time God has given to us. There is no excuse for letting a prison record or the fact that we may be a high school dropout or any of the other mistakes we have made in life to stop us from living life to its fullest. Make the most out of what God places before you. If the stores won't hire you, businesses won't hire you because of your record, because you're recovering from an addiction. Start your own business. Start washing cars. Start yourself a detailing business. Cut grass. There's a lot of things that you can do. Never say what you can't do. Or have your own personal pity party. Philippians 4:13 tells us this: I can do all this through Him who gives me strength. Making the most out of your situations in life should be at the top of our priority list in life. We must make the most of each opportunity we are given. If an opportunity is missed, we cannot get it back. We can't reach back and pull something that's gotten away from us. A lot of people have missed out on many things in life because they were caught up in worldly affairs. But once it's gotten by you, it's gone for good. If you were caught up in the world and didn't spend time with your kids, you can't get that back. No amount of money or love can replace those years that had got past you. So seize every moment, every opportunity that God places before you and make the best of it. Value the time that we have in this life. That's one thing we don't do often enough. We don't place value on the time that God's given us. We just take it for granted. There'll be a tomorrow. There'll be a next week. There'll be a next month. Paul wants to know it doesn't work that way. Paul knew that life was short, and the importance of making the most out of every opportunity. He knew the importance and the value of time that had been allotted to him. You know Paul's story. Paul was arrested many times, was shipwrecked. He was threatened with death on multiple occasions. But he made the most of every opportunity given to him and living every day as if it was his last. There are people in the world today from whom we can learn a valuable lesson. Take a motivational speaker by the name of Nick Vujicic, who was born without arms and legs. A person who could easily give up on life and cursed God. But instead realized that God had a purpose for his life. That God had a plan for him that he didn't know at the time. And now he travels around the world as a motivational speaker, touching, encouraging, and lifting up the souls of the thousands of people that he sees. Making the most of your situations in life. That's what he's doing. You know, I view him on YouTube many times, and he's comical, but He's serious. He's down to earth. No legs, no arms. He has a little appendage down there that's supposed to be in his foot. And when he's speaking, he has to have a little thing flipping to make people laugh. He said, you know, God, you give me no arms, no legs, but I got this little flapper down here. You use it to talk on the phone, put the phone up on his shoulder. You use it to turn the page in the Bible. But he has a happy disposition about himself. Everyone he runs into, cross paths with, he wants them to hug. Now, he can't hug because of having no arm. But he takes great joy in being hugged by others. He had touched so many lives of people who thought that life had passed them by, that they'd gotten a raw deal. But when he gets finished his motivational speech, people are left with tears in their eyes. Making the most of the situations in your life, that's what he does, and that's a great lesson we can learn from him. Life dealt him a hard hand. No legs, no arms. But life goes on. And he sees the moment. He sees the opportunity that God had given him and said, I'm going to live each day for Christ. So he's an evangelist now. Sharing the word of God wherever he goes. Making the most of your situation in life reminds me of those born as Siamese twins, both now and in the past, who doctors could not separate because they shared the same organs. But who rose above their situations in life, living life to the fullest, seizing every opportunity to glorify God through the lives that they were living. I'm also reminded, Lighthouse, of those brothers and sisters born without legs who are living life to the fullest, becoming accomplished athletes. I'm reminded of one young man who had no legs but went on to become one of the best wrestlers in his class. Reminded of a young lady who had no legs but she became a professional surfer. I'm reminded of those who don't have legs that use artificial or prostheses, become world record holders in track and field. I'm reminded of a young man that went to school with me in Man of Bible Institute. He was mentally challenged, not able to communicate clearly, not able to walk like we walk. But this young man didn't let his handicap stop him. He seized the opportunity. He matriculated through manna just like we did. He had the ability to write like the rest of us. So he had to take his exams orally. But he did what he had to do. He seized the opportunity that God had placed before him. And he graduated with us. Brother Lewis was a special person. So special that the pastor of his church had ordained him at some point. So this was the man that not only loved God, but was able, with the help of God and the Holy Spirit, to preach clearly when he got into pulpit. Or he needed aids to help him walk, the metal crutches, or the, I don't know what they call them, the little things that go around your wrist and you hold the I still call them crutches, but y'all know what I'm talking about. He needed that to get around and had difficulty carrying his books, but this man had a love of life that so many people that I know today do not have. Had a joy in his heart that so many people don't have today. He seized the opportunity that God had given to him, and he made the best of it. So many examples are all around us now of people who could have given up on life, but decided to make the best out of their situations in life. That's what Paul's talking about, Lighthouse. Seizing and making the most out of every opportunity in life. Opportunities come by only once in our lifetime.
Yes, yes.
And if it passes you by because you are caught up in worldly affairs, you have no one else to blame but yourself. We only have one chance at this in life. And we must make a decision. Will we continue conforming to the ways of the world and missing all the opportunities that God has provided and will continue to provide? Or are we truly, what's the word I'm looking for? Let me rephrase that. Or will we truly value the time that has been allotted to us and seize the opportunities that God presents before us? Decision time is now. What will your decision be? Will you keep on hanging out with the world? Will you keep conforming to what they want you to be versus what God has ordained you to be? What will your decision be? Are you still running with that crew that you know is not about anything good? What will your decision be? Will you continue to have a nasty mouth and have no concern about what God may or may not do in your life? It's decision time. We must make a decision, Lighthouse. The decision we make, people should be able to see that decision before we even get close to one another. Because we're going to change your life. A person will see that before they get to you. If they want to change your ways, the word will get out before we have the opportunity to share. Decision time is now. Make the most out of your situation in life. You know the old cliche, as I am, no matter how bad your situation is, there's always somebody worse. There's always a situation that's worse than yours. You don't think that God has done you wrong. Just know that God tests his children all the time. What we think might be a wrong being done to us by God is a test that God is putting us through. Just to see how faithful we are. Just to see where our priorities lie. Just to see if we are true to who we say that we are. Making the most out of your situations and life. This ends our live stream portion of our service. We thank God for all of you who have tuned in or will be tuning in. Know that God will bless you for your steadfastness, for being a part of our service. We do ask, and we haven't asked in a while, that in the midst of planning your budget, try to remember Lighthouse. We have posted ways to bless us. Please take the opportunity to do that if God leads you. But more importantly, read the announcements, reread the scripture, and see how God speaks to your heart. And then the rest of the things that we have posted, read each of the flyers, and hopefully they'll be a blessing to you, whether it be in home health care or the different items that we have have posted for you. Please avail yourself to them, read them, and just stay abreast of what we're doing here at Lighthouse. And as always, God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. And we'll see you same time, same place, same station.